Hi guys. Okay, so hopefully, yeah, I got this. I'm sorry, y'all. I hope y'all can see me. It just looks weird. Hopefully it's fine. Okay. Anyway, yes, I'm sitting in my bed, but I thought this was a nice backdrop. This is my headboard that I just made. Um, but I will get back to that. Y'all can see that in my home, my master bedroom decorating video that's coming up probably sometime. I don't know when. Sometime soon, okay? But had to make sure it's still recording, y'all. Okay, but today's video is about, as y'all saw in the title, is about having an intentional marriage. So I'm gonna talk about 5 things that will make your marriage intentional. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. But in my mind, if I had to pick one word to describe my marriage, it would be intentional. And it may just be intentional on my side. That's just how I feel. But I feel like anytime anybody gets married, your marriage should be intentional. In fact, it's probably the best word I could find. Y'all forget I had to write my notes on my phone. Sorry. It's probably the best word I can find to describe the attitude with which we should all approach our marriages. So I looked up the word intentional, and it's an action word that means to do something deliberately or consciously or on purpose. If it was intentional, it didn't happen accidentally. Someone planned for it to happen and stuck with it until it did. So being intentional in your marriage is simply, it means that you are involved in and actively working to make your marriage the best that it can be. It also means that you're not just standing on the sidelines hoping for the best. That you plan and have a vision for your marriage, and that you're determined to see it come to pass. So, are you being intentional in your marriage? Do you and your spouse have a plan for your marriage, which is actively pursuing, or are you just going with the wind, or where the wind blows? I'm sorry. You will. So the one question is, how can you make your marriage intentional? How can you be intentional in your marriage? So being intentional in your marriage means being proactive and working on your marriage each and every day. It involves taking responsibility for your actions and the effect they have on your marriage. And also making adjustments when things start to get off track. So here are 5 things that you could do to make your marriage intentional. So make your spouse a priority. A lot of times we get so busy in life with, work, our children, school, activities. Maybe you have a lot of businesses or business ideas that you're pursuing. So when you said you do, our spouse was the most important person in your life. But over the years, the pressures of life crept in and slowly overwhelmed us, dropping them from that exhaust position of importance to just another line on our to-do list. So now you're at a point in your marriage probably where you have made your spouse is not first, basically. So over time, the emotion can cause anger and resentment for the spouse that feels they have been ignored or kicked to the curb. Avoid this by making your spouse a high priority in your life and not making them take a backseat to your career or even your children. We know in the Bible it says the order for marriage is God, your wife, right? Your God, your wife, or God, your spouse, I should say, then your children, and then everybody else, or everything else. So, make the first tip was make your spouse a priority. The second one is date your spouse and spend quality time together. Quality time, okay? It was because of the dating that you initially fell in love with your spouse. Okay, that's for some, because in my case, my husband was never my boyfriend, and maybe that's probably some of our issue now. But on to the next thing, or the rest I wrote. But the time you spend together doing things you mutually enjoy help create the intimacy that eventually found you to say I do to each other. But sadly, after marriage, most of us stop dating our spouses, and we rarely spend quality alone time together to know what exactly is going on. For some reason, it keeps cutting off, so we have to go back to where I left off. The second time. This is the third time. Okay, so I was saying, but sadly, after marriage, most of us stop dating our spouses, and we rarely spend quality alone time together to connect like we did when we were dating. While we can all try to blame this on the fast pace of the lives we lead, the main issue is that few of us actually make dating our spouse and spending quality time with them a priority like we did when we were dating. If this describes you and your spouse, or you can't remember the last evening you spent along with them, take the time to do something about it. Commit today to take out time of your busy schedule to bring dating back into your relationship, and to daily set aside one-on-one quality time for the two of you to reconnect and to strengthen your relationship. Just 10 to 20 minutes a day of undisturbed quality time each day and date night every other week will make a world of difference in your marriage. So the third one is okay, let me go back to that one. So yeah, just make quality time or dating your spouse a priority in your marriage, and that's another way to make sure or ensure that your marriage is intentional. The third way is you don't underestimate the importance of sexual intimacy. Sexual intimacy in the marriage is important on building a happy and healthy marriage. Unfortunately, one of the first casualties of our fast-paced lives our fast-paced marriage is usually the loss of sexual intimacy in the marriage. The hectic pace of life that can often be hectic, or the hectic pace of life, y'all, I'm getting tongue-tied, I'm sorry. The hectic pace of life can often cause one or both of spouses to be tired for sex, or feel that there just isn't enough time for it due to the schedule with work or children. To combat these and keep passion alive in the marriage, we must learn to make sexual intimacy with our spouses our priority, even if scheduling it is necessary. Me personally, I don't want to schedule it. I just want it to happen. If I feel like it and I nudge you, I just want it to happen. And I think that keeps everybody happy, but it doesn't work that way. So making sexual intimacy is another way of making sure that you're keeping your marriage intentional. It's important, and it can cause complications in the marriage for either party, depending on how important and how frustrated, because you can become frustrated, but we can talk about that in another video. The fourth one is build margin into your life. A margin is a blank space left on a piece of paper. You know, the margin, the line, that's blank. Likewise, the margin in our life is the space we leave blank in our lives to make way for rest and relaxation. Time spent with our spouse and children, hobbies, etc. When we try to live our life with little or no margin, stress and frustration and marital issues are usually the inevitable result. Y'all was writing this quickly and trying to read my writing. Um, not read my writing. Read what I wrote. Sorry. But when we work to build amp margin into life at work, at home, and in our marriage, we find that we have more free time to relax, enjoy life, and a time spent with our spouse, as well as having a significant lower level of stress. So making that margin in your life for your spouse and making your marriage intentional will lower your frustrations, your stress levels, and limit and lower the risk of having marital issues in the first place. It goes back to the sexual intimacy as well. You know, that can cause a lot of frustration. The last one is love your spouse in their love language. As a therapist, I always recommend the 5 love languages. People don't realize the importance of knowing your spouse's love language. It's by, y'all, my brain done went. I want to say his name is Gary Chapman. Gary Chapman, I believe is his name. But our love languages is the way we receive and naturally express emotional love. If we want our spouse to feel the love we are showing them, we must discover our spouse's primary love language and learn how to show them love accordingly. From personal experience, I can tell you that getting this right can make a huge difference in your marriage. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. My love language personally, and I'll tell you guys, is physical touch, quality time. In that order: physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and then words of affirmation. Actually, I said that wrong. Physical touch, words, quality time, words of affirmation, and then acts of service, and then receiving gifts. So with all that said, those are the 5 love languages. Look for the book, The 5 Love Languages. It's an awesome book. I have it in my Google Books. It's a good tool that I use with my marriage and family, or my marriage, my couples, and my therapy sessions. Even for single people, I think when you know your love language, you can explain to the next person that you're dating what your love language is, and so that they can understand how to love you, and then y'all can explore together, you know, their love language. And I think that's an awesome thing too, to know, because you're willing to get to know the person and how they love and what they need. Understanding your love language is not understanding your spouse's love language is important, because like it goes back to the theme of this video, which is having an intentional marriage. You're putting the work in. You're striving to make it better until it works. You're not giving up. You're just making your marriage a priority. So, and before I end this video, I'm gonna challenge y'all. I challenge you to make this the time to discuss this with your spouse, to see which of these areas are in need of improvement in your marriage, and what you can do individually as a couple to move toward a more intentional and lasting marriage. Your marriage and your spouse will thank you. So, I hope that y'all take the 5 things that I said, and I will repeat them real quick. They were as follows: love your spouse in their love language, build margin into your life, don't underestimate the importance of sexual intimacy, and don't date your spouse, and spend quality time together. And the first one was make your spouse a priority. That is the most important thing, I feel like. Make your spouse a priority. Spend amped amount of time. Make that marginal. Know your partner's love language. And I'm forgetting one. love you. Okay, so the love languages: build the margin, the sexual, don't understand the importance of sexual intimacy, date your spouse, that's the other one, and then make your spouse a priority. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, you learned anything. If you guys have any questions, this is just the first video of my marriage series. And I hope and pray that this helps you guys, because it's hard. Marriage is hard. You have to put work into it, and you definitely have to be intentional. So go from this video and be intentional in your marriage. And if you still struggle with these 5 things, or even to get your spouse to be intentional in your marriage, just go ahead and pray to our Father, because I definitely can say He will help your spouse become intentional in your marriage. Until the next video, you guys, I will see you later. Love, peace, and blessings. Deuces.
I feel like we're in a different time zone. I wanna write